Okay, we are live. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is safe. It's the Monday Night Tech and Chill Show Unplugged. I'm your host, Ben, from the Lover of Tech channel, and we are, of course, live. We are pretty much going to be talking everything post Unpacked July 26th, 2023. Galaxy Z Flip 5, Z Fold 5, Galaxy Tab S9 series with the Tab S9 Ultra, Tab S9 Plus, Tab S9, and the Galaxy Watch 6 series with the Watch 6 Classic as well as the Watch 6. And pretty much talk about what products were the best and did Samsung do enough? Ooh, that's always the question. Did they do enough? And we're going to try and answer that question tonight and see if that's really the case, because the general consensus is that it's people are barely whelmed. People are barely whelmed, and maybe the products that we thought were gonna be of the one of most interest actually haven't gained anywhere near as much interest as some of the other products. 7 products in total that were announced. Galaxy Z Flip 5, which was everything that was based around. You've got the Fold 5, and then you've got the Tab S9 Ultra, Tab S9 Plus, Tab S9, Watch 6 Classic, Watch 6. 7 products. My goodness, Samsung. Talk about a heavy load. Pause. All right, who do we have here? We've got Jimmy the Fire Dragon. Hope everyone is having a great or has been having a great day. Thank you for the £2 super chat. It really, really means a lot. Really appreciate your support continuously on the Lover of Tech channel. It means the world. Always consistently in the comments early. And it means the world, and I really, really appreciate it. And it's like barely whelmed. Well, maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe I was expecting too much. And you as my audience, I do need your input. Shout out to the homie Fresh. Appreciate you being here as well. And of course, this is the last day of July. Wow, what a busy month July has been. My first full month not having a day job and kind of just going full time on YouTube. All I'm gonna say is that pray that the sponsors keep coming in. Pray that the videos do well so your boy doesn't have to hunt for a day job by October. Because October, I want to go Ghana as well, so I need to book that in and do what I need to do. Good way of putting it. Barely whelmed. Yep. Samsung did enough for Samsung. Nah, Samsung did enough apparently for Apple. And I'm going to explain what that basically means. Ben, wow, you're looking younger every time we see you, handsome fella. Thanks. I just drink a lot of water, if I'm going to be honest with you. Stay hydrated. If in doubt, just drink a lot of water and look after your skin. Mine is mostly genetics and also drinking water. Congrats on being full time, bro. And I appreciate that. It's not out of complete choice. This is kind of a semi deep end kind of way of doing it, and I'm just gonna give it a shot and kind of foot to the ground and make it work so I don't have to hunt for a day job. But I needed it for this month. This month was just a lot. I needed it for this month. I needed to not have a day job for this month, if I'm going to be very honest with you. So it's a blessing in disguise. And I take it and I move. We make it work. We'll make it work. We'll make it clap. Classic. Classic. All right, you know how we get on a Monday Night Tech and Chill Show Unplug. We like to unplug, act a fool, have a structure, but no script, and just vibe with it. And of course, we are streaming live in 4K ultra high definition, 16:9. So if you've got the capacity, the bandwidth, and the devices, make sure you select higher than 720p, which is HD. Go all the way up to 1080p, which is full HD. Then up to 1440p, which is QHD for quad high definition. Then all the way up to 2160p, 4K UHD for ultra high definition for the crispest live stream on the internet for tech YouTube today or tonight, depending on what part of the world that you're in right now. But yes, we are going to be pretty much recapping our Unpacked experience. Our Unpacked experience. Please do let me know how the audio is sounding. Let me know how the audio is sounding, lighting, image quality. Let me know how everything is vibing, just to make sure that you are getting the best experience possible, as per always, which matters to me a lot. Just switched from the iPhone 14 Pro to the Pixel Fold, waiting for my 6 Classic to replace my Watch Ultra. Interesting. I like that, Average Rich. Interesting approach. Interesting approach. Interesting approach. But yeah, let's talk everything post unpacked. To give you a bit of timeline, again, I was fortunate enough to get 1 week hands on with the new devices before the official announcement on the 26th, where pre-orders were also available. General availability is going to be on the 11th of August, but if you do pre-order it, most people will be getting their devices this Friday on the 4th. So that's kind of like, the general consensus of how things go around. I think Samsung really joking around. Really, the Fold 5 just not worth updating from the Fold 4. Hey, we're going to discuss it. What's good? What's good, Jeff? Digital slang in the house. What's good, my friend? What's good, brother? Hope you're well. Hope you're safe. Thank you for joining tonight's stream. Sounds good, bro. That's what I love to hear. And hopefully the image quality is coming through nice and clear as well. Big to you, bro. Enough respect. Enough respect to you, Rayon. Appreciate you, Mr. Williams. Thank you for joining. I think this is probably like your first time on the Tech and Chill show. Maybe it isn't, and I might have missed it. Apologies. But again, I appreciate you being here. We've got 25 lovely concurrent viewers in here. We are back in a groove. When I see that, man, I get motivated and I get charged. So let's get into the groove. Let's get into the mix. Right. Giving you a bit of timeline, I was very, very fortunate to be part of the group of people that get early access to these devices and hands-on. And I'll give you a bit of context. It's usually 1 week before the announcement. So on the 19th, on the Wednesday, we managed to get hands-on with it. Um, I'll give you a bit of context. Samsung make you feel like you've got 2 hours to record. No, you don't. We went in there. What should have been a 30-minute presentation ended up being an hour, right? So my time slot was like 1:30 p.m. It was for up until 3:30 hard stop, but we only started recording the devices from like maybe quarter to three, just past somewhere between quarter to three and 2:30 p.m. So put it in perspective. I have to do coverage for Sound Mobile, right? I have to do coverage for them in terms of hands-on. They pay me to do that, so cool, no problem. But the problem is, I have to record all 7 devices. And I mean, shout out to the homies that also dealt with me in the same session where we end up sharing footage, people that come and help and stuff, right? But you don't really get to use the products within that perspective. It's very hard to get an initial impression and stuff. Yes, what's good? Been here from a long time, so I appreciate you, man. Thanks, you, Ray, and appreciate that. Technically, T in the house. What's good, T? What you saying? What you saying, bro? Appreciate you being in there. Has per homie, technically T in the house. Road to 100K subs, bro. Loving it, killing it, man. So you don't really get to use it. It's a rush. It's a mess, and I personally think Samsung, you need to get better with it. I'm just giving a bit of feedback. You want your products to be showcased correctly with the correct information. Yeah, just give us pre-briefing. Oh my days. Give us beefing, lad. If Trenton sees this, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so done. Give us pre-briefing before hands-on so we know the details of the product. Give us the full 2 hours to record. That's it. Don't give us 45 minutes. Don't even give us an hour to record 7 devices. So go through the motion, do all the hands-on recording. Everything goes live on embargo day. And I'm gonna learn to do things a bit different for my personal channel for embargo day. And I left feeling, without burying the lead, right, that Samsung did enough. Samsung did enough to get away with it. That's the catch. They did enough. They did enough to get away with it because I feel like they scanned the room, deeped it and looked at it and thought, we ain't really got competition enough across the scope of product categories that we're bringing out. And we still need to recover a lot of cost from what COVID did, right? If we can get away with putting in minimum research and development, R&D, resources, materials, and stuff, and still be able to pull it off and increase prices in relations to inflation, we still have the biggest global net reach for these type of devices compared to any of our competition counterpart, and that is including Apple, right? Apple don't make foldables. Apple don't make other type of product categories in that particular sense, especially for foldables, right? Samsung did enough to get away with it. What happened to Damien on 9 to 5 Google? Oh no, Damien's blessed. He's at Android Authority now. Damien's done his time and he's onto greater and better things, as well deserved. He's at Android Authority now. Go find him on Android Authority. He is over there. Let's start with the Galaxy Flip 5. The Flip 5, by all means, seems to have had the most relevant upgrade when it comes to their folding screen phone devices. This is the Flip 4, right? And it's all because of the outer cover display really, really stepping up. I think it's like a 3.46-inch cover display now. It's a huge cover display. Absolutely huge cover display. So, things have improved greatly when it comes to the fold. So the flip. I'm at the fold. The flip. Okay. Just just setting up the browser. YouTube. Okay. Where are we looking at in terms of coverage for? I'll go to my channel for now. And I am going to go here. Let's reduce it so that we're gonna full screen it, and then we're gonna transition over. Inception Me. Yes. So we're just gonna play this in the background. This is my hands-on comparison against the Flip 4. And in this particular situation, what we're seeing here is that it's an interesting place. It's an interesting place. We do have a big upgrade, or a bigger upgrade than expected, but there is still some things really missing. I will say one person, and I messaged him directly. He doesn't need a shout out for me. He's established within the industry, but it's still credit where credit's due. Tom the Tech Chap did a very, very good user experience hands-on review. Again, he doesn't need a plug. Most people, if you're on the tech scene, you know him. But if you haven't watched his hands-on review of the Flip 5, he picked up on a lot of user experience quirks that really haven't been improved and are still there from the Flip 4. And there was even one that I mentioned to him that he picked up that he didn't realize. And it's something I mentioned in my hands-on review as well. My hands-on initial impressions of it as well. I'm gonna pause it. Obviously, the big thing here, what we're seeing is going to be the outer cover display, right? It looks like it's in the shape of a folder, and because I didn't get enough time with it, I didn't get to see some of the extra things it does. But as you can see, this is the outer cover display of the Flip 5. It's really the biggest upgrade if we compare it to what we have here on the Flip 4, right? Much more usable. So much more usable when it comes to, being able to use it more for, things like having a full keyboard. It looks like there's certain labs enabled features that you can put in there for maps, Netflix, YouTube and stuff. I've seen some other content creators make videos about how you can use every app on an outer display. I think I saw Board at Work actually using the outer cover display to play games. I haven't watched those pieces of content yet, so it's hard to fully know. And again, I do see your comments. I'm not ignoring you. I'm pretty much going through the motions, and I'll get back into the comments. So just keep firing your comments below. I do see them. I'm not ignoring them. From KD, the Dane, Average Rich, Zachary Tech 7, right? Bad 65, Dad. I see you all in there. I will get to your comments very, very shortly. This is the biggest upgrade that you're going to be seeing out of the two, right? And it's great to see it. It's great to see the fact that there is a zero gap hinge now. As you can see, there's a nice zero gap hinge, which is one of the things I can, I complained about when it came to my Flip 4 review last year, July, August period. That it just visually doesn't look as nice. And of course, so much debris, dust, and little bits gets in between. And I know there was a reason behind it where it helped with the IP67 rating, but Google brought out theirs that had a zero gap hinge and it was IPX8 rating. So it's great to see that they've implemented that as well. Love to see it. It's slightly slimmer, not really that noticeable to me. There's no improvement to the crease. And obviously you've got the bigger outer display, which makes it so much more usable for, your notifications, your quick widgets at a glance. The more apps you can use without closing it, opening it. And of course, having a better viewfinder for the cover display when you're using a camera for pictures and for videos. But again, there's quirks of the videos, and I will talk about it. I will talk about it. Things that affect the resolution and frame rate based on the orientation being horizontal or vertical. It's quite weird. It's quite weird in that retrospect. So, but if we're going through the motion, it looks like the inner display has been improved in terms of brightness, but they didn't really mention that. They didn't really mention that in that retrospect, but apparently it's slightly brighter. Apparently, also there is a high brightness mode that's in there, 1600 nits, when it comes to not just the inner display but the outer display in certain situations. But it really depends on what the situation is and whatnot. Obviously, there's a new color mint that is going to be the hero color that stands out in that retrospect. I did an exclusive colors video for Samsung Online for Sam Mobile, so definitely you can check that out as well. There's like 4 additional colors. All of them have the matte black finish for the metal rail, and it looks really good in that retrospect. So yeah, there's that to consider. There is that to consider. I need a 35mm f1.2. Just for randomly throwing it out there. Anyone that wants to donate, no, I'm joking. I'll cop one soon. So you can see here the difference between the outer cover display and also on the Flip 5 versus the Flip 4, right? But if we go to the inner display, really not much difference. Even the crease, not much difference. That's one of the things I struggle with the Flip. Personally. That's just me. It's still 120 hertz LTPO, but the outer cover display is 60 hertz. The outer cover display is 60 hertz. Where this phone really sits in place is the Moto Razr 40 Ultra, right? Because apparently that cover display is actually 144, 165 hertz or something like that, which I need to pull up a comparison to compare the two to see what's up in this particular situation, right? What is good is, yes, there isn't a 128 gigabyte base model anymore. There's still 8 gigabytes of RAM, but it is LPDDR5X. If you don't know what that means, is low power double data rate generation 5 memory extreme. There is DDR5 memory. Shout out to everyone else that's coming in here. BG Tech Life, I see you. Alex One, I see you. I will get to your comments as well. So it's good to see that 128 gig is gone. Phones at this price should be starting at 128. Shouldn't be starting at 128. It should be starting with 256. That should be the industry standard now. And I hope Apple also does the same for the upcoming iPhone 15 series, especially on their Pro model devices. Camera is pretty much the same. Apparently, the selfie inner display camera should have a wider aperture, but they didn't really mention that in that retrospect. Mm. So there's that retrospect. But the camera suffers the same quirks, man. If not, in some odd, weird ways as well. And I'll talk through it. I'll talk through it. Right. I'll talk through it in that sense that the battery as well is still the same capacity, 3700 milliamps. I was really hoping it would somehow figure out how to do 4000 milliamps. Charging is the same 25 watts. I think wireless charging is 15 or 10 watts, something like that. And wireless power share is 4.5 watts. Software wise, we are running Android 13 with One UI 5.1.1, which is their latest version iteration. This is usually the 0.1 update before you get the One UI 6 or the next numbered version, which would be running on Android 14, as you can see here. So, and again, as you can see, the battery capacity 3700 milliamps instead. Pricing starts in the UK for the base model. It's going to be £1,049. It's somewhere in between an S23 Plus as well as a Galaxy S23 Ultra. So take that whatever it means. You don't get DeX. Obviously, you've got the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy chip, which is not just an overclocked chip, but apparently an optimized chip, which we really saw it shine in the S23 Ultra and the S23 Plus, as well as the S23. And especially for us in regions where we've been suffering that Exynos life, it was such a difference maker to the Galaxy S23 Ultra, especially that, wow, what an amazing phone experience in that sense. But if I load up GSM Arena, then we look at a quick comparison to the Motorola Razr Flip 5. We're just going to compare. We're going to switch to camera 1 in Chrome. We're going to press compare. Motorola. All right, here we are. Hopefully you all can see it nice and clear as possible. Let me just see if I can zoom in. Yeah, I think you can now see it much more clearer. Right, Flip 5 versus the Motorola Razr 40 Ultra, right? Already you can see from the cover display what we're working with right now. Cool. So where are we? So the Motorola is slightly lighter. We've got the Motorola on the right. It is slightly lighter. You've got the water repellent coating, not a full IPX8 compared to the Flip 5. Obviously the front open Gorilla Glass Victus 2 with an aluminium frame, and you've got obviously plastic front opened, front glass closed Gorilla Victus, back glass Gorilla Victus, aluminium frame, which is 7000 series. Hinge is stainless. eSIM and nano SIM, dual SIM or one eSIM. Okay, cool. Right, here we are with the display. The inner display seems to be in terms of high brightness on the Flip 5, but they didn't really mention it, but it's been kind of verified as around 1600 nits, which is interesting. You do have a high refresh rate of 165 on a Motorola. You do have a slightly bigger display on a Motorola, so take that for what it may be. You have the same resolution on both, so obviously the pixel density is going to be slightly higher on the Flip 5, not really anything that's going to be noticeable. But here's where we see the cover display. The cover display definitely looks more interesting on a Motorola, 3.6 inches, and it's actually running at 144 hertz. And it has a 1100 nits peak brightness as well. This is where it really puts this in perspective that yes, Victus 2 glass, Victus, are you really going to notice a difference in that retrospect? Probably not. Probably not. But this is a big difference maker already. So already it seems like as much as it was a big upgrade, it's still behind what we were at least expecting it to match the in-the display at 120 hertz, right? So, and again, it's a slightly higher resolution, much higher PPI as well compared to 306. Yeah. So this is very, very questionable. You are working with 8 Plus Gen 1, but honestly, an 8 Plus Gen 1, not an 8 Gen 1 on Samsung's manufacturing process. The 8 Plus Gen 1 is still very capable, even though the 8 Plus Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy is a slightly overclocked and slightly different optimized version. This is still very capable. I don't see it to be too much of a difference in a folding form factor. Apparently, also the heat management and the thermal management on the Flip 5 isn't anything to write home about. Now, you do get UFS 4.0 storage compared to 3.1, so that's great. And if we look at the cameras, I think Samsung generally here, even with dual cameras, tend to be better overall. If you look at the field of view of the ultra wide, it is obviously better, even though slightly less megapixels. You still have the same micron pixel size at 1.12 micron meters. You have autofocus as well on the Razr, 12 megapixel on the main, and you do have a bigger sensor of 1/1.76 inch, and you do have a bigger micron pixel at 1.8 compared to 1.4. So overall, I would trust the camera to be more competent on the Samsung. You do have a 32 megapixel selfie. So that's, again, it's an interesting one in that retrospect. GSM Marine have got this one wrong. The selfie should go up to 4K 60, not 4K 30 only. So, take that into retrospect. And again, Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, Bluetooth 5.3. You do have a slightly, I think the battery experience is going to be overall better on the Motorola. 30 watts is slightly better. Slightly bigger battery to offset it, I guess. You don't have reverse wireless charging by the looks of it, so take that for what it is. And it looks like retrospect, you're around the same price. In this case, in this particular case, have Samsung done enough with the Galaxy Flip 5? Yeah, I think they have. I think they definitely need to have a 120 hertz outer cover display. I think the cover display is a lot more interesting on a Motorola. I need to watch the content again, but I think the outer cover display is slightly more interesting on a Motorola, if that's a better way to put it. And you can use outright all the apps, I believe, on it without having to do any trickery from what I remember of it. But is the Flip 5 enough? Not enough for me, because I'm personally not spending that much on a phone for the camera experience to be this compromised. And what do I basically mean? It's a dual camera system with no zoom. Honestly, I'm just at a point where 3x zoom is my bare minimum, but having this Pixel Fold with a 5x zoom, I've realized that I'm just a zoom guy equally as much as an ultra wide. In fact, I think a zoom in retrospect can be a lot more important. Most of the standard wide field of view on cameras for smartphones, right, the 1x zoom lens or the 1x lens, usually tends to be the equivalent field of view of 28 or 24 millimeters. 24 or 28 millimeters of a full frame camera. You're not getting a full frame, I'm saying the field of view, the FOV, right? And then the ultra wide is somewhere retrospect to maybe a 13 millimeter lens with 128-degree field of view. Yes, Super-COON. My goodness, that name is so buck wild, 100% wild. But yeah, smash that like button. Like the stream. I really appreciate, man, the support. Thank you for the $5 super chat. When I see a super chat, although I'm in my flow, I will acknowledge it straight away because it really does mean a lot. These are the reasons why. Again, it's not mandatory, but it motivates me to make sure that I'm staying consistent with the streams on Monday, unless I've got a good reason not to. And also, I'm making sure that these streams are in the best quality possible when it comes to visual presentation, audio presentation, and just my whole vibe in terms of information, energy, cadence, delivery. And again, if in doubt, you just joined, we are streaming this in 4K UHD. So we've got the bandwidth and you've got the capacity and the devices. Make sure you select 720p HD, go higher at 1080p Full HD, then to 1440p QHD, all the way up to 2060p 4K Ultra HD for the crispiest live stream on TechCube on TechYouTube on the internet right now. Really appreciate the support. The cameras, not having a zoom for that price, foldable or not, ain't me, fam. I'm just not doing it. I can't do it to myself, not doing it to myself. 3x zoom is the bare minimum. 5x zoom is the standard for me. Anything beyond that is an absolute bonus. I'm just there now. Call me a camera snob. I'm just not giving up that for anything. I'm not switching to any phone at that price with that level of compromise when it comes to the camera, no matter what it does in terms of bends or yogas itself or Pilates itself in any capacity, right? But even with what the camera has as a dual camera system, I still think it's really not enough, right? Why? One of the biggest things I picked up, and I pride myself in this low key, I'm pretty much one of the only person that's picked it up. The ultra wide camera, just like on a Flip 4, still cannot shoot in 4K 60. Still can't shoot in 4K 60. Like, make it make sense. It still can't shoot in 4K 60, right? And then on top of that, there's just a lot of usability quirks. Depending on what orientation you're using a cover display viewfinder with the camera, whether in horizontal or vertical, you won't get access to things like 4K video. It will limit itself as 1080 to 1080p and even go as far as 1080p 30 only. I think it's been designed in a way to really just work in vertical mode, right? So there's too many quirks there. For me, too many quirks with the camera. I can at this stage deal with the outer cover display being 60 hertz. I can, but it does need to be 120 hertz. You know, it just does. It just does. The battery definitely needs to be bigger. We need to get to 4000 mAh on these phones, and we need to improve the charging. Like we just do. We just do. We just do. Um, Overall, it's great. It's great. I'm just not a Flip guy. I will say though, if you're a Flip person and you've been hesitating and you're in doubt, yeah, I think this is the one to go for. Even up from the Flip 4. Katie, are you excited for the OnePlus Fold and the Pixel Fold 2? Pixel Fold 2 is far off. Pixel Fold 2 is far off, but the OnePlus Fold pretty much proves that this is the year of foldables. But I'll be honest with you, the dark horse of foldables that I'm really, really looking forward to, probably the Honor Magic V2. Yeah. Cheese! Hey, lunch on me today, bro. $20 super chat. Bro, you're, as more recently, I've always rocked with you. Fresh, you know this. Courtney, you know this. But more and more recently, like seeing the stuff you do has literally helped me step up my game when it comes to production. Been a big inspiration, big motivation into making sure that I'm just taking that little bit more care into making sure that the videos really slap. I'm gonna get a slider and I'm gonna get on it, and things will really elevate in certain sense. But you know, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. It means the world. And again, helps me stay motivated to make sure that I'm making sure that I'm keeping consistent across the board. And we finished on a strong place this month, and I appreciate you dropping that in. All right, that's my conclusion to the Flip 5. It's enough for the flipologist, as Floss would say, but it's not going to be something that's going to make me switch as someone that uses an actual fold and not a Flip. That's just me. But if you're a Flip person, you come from the first generation Flip, the Flip 1.5, which is the Flip 2 or the Flip 5G, the Flip 3 definitely, even the Flip 4, I think it's a noticeable upgrade enough. So take it for what it is. That is the Flip 5. All right, let's jump back into the comments. Katie said, oh, I didn't know. Now you know. Will you get the Honor Magic V2? Oh, I want to say yes. I was going to say absolutely, based on the fact I have a great working relationship with the guys over at Honor. But yeah, I should be. Damn! Okay, well, you lot are showing out tonight. What's going on? What's going on? Super, that's COON. I'm never saying the name out properly like that because the name is kind of wild. The name's kind of wild. But deserting me today, sir, you work hard. Now, I appreciate that, man. You lot are part of Team TLS, aka the Tech Lover Squad. If you didn't know what Team TLS is, Tech Lover Squad, that's you lot right there. Live squad, you're in here, part of the 27 concurrent viewers, and you're dropping your own bands in here. Now, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that big time. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna let that sit. You've put in work, man. You've tallied up $25, bro. You're trying to show out. Jimmy's up in there as well. Let me recap my super chats. Jimmy's up in there as well. You know, KD, you're up in here as well. Super CON, you're up in here as well. Fresh, you're up in here as well. Like, you know, yo, you lot are real ones. You lot are real ones for real. I appreciate you lot, man. I appreciate you lot. I can't wait for the OnePlus foldable phone and the Pixel 2 next year. Definitely can't wait for the Pixel 2 next year. And I'm very interested in the OnePlus Fold, but dare I say it, the Honor Magic V2 is looking like probably the dark horse of foldables. And I don't think they're getting enough props. Having hands on all devices for a week as well, the Fold 5 is a joke of an upgrade. We're going to get to that next. The Flip 5 is the real star. Now, of course, they did that intentionally. I currently have a OnePlus 8T. Damn, that's from 2020. All right, shout out to you, man. Zachary Tech 7. Main reason I'm trading in my Z Fold 4 for the Flip 5 and the Tab S8 to the Tab S9 Ultra is the 1 terabyte on both. Okay, increase screen brightness so that I can read ebooks, and watch videos outside. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for increased battery. You're not gonna really get an increased battery, just to put it out there. The Pixel Fold is a beast. Last all day. Watch YouTuber and the latest updates. I don't know about last all day. I've got the latest update. I don't know about last all day. I don't know about Beast either, but I think it's elegant. I think the Pixel Fold is elegant. Maybe too elegant for its own good, especially when it comes to the inner display software experience, but it's very elegant. I have the Z Fold 5 now since Friday, and I really like it. Oh, nice shout out to you, Theo, man. Good shout. Good shout. Z Fold 5 main display is as bright as the S23 Ultra. Absolutely. 1,750 nits. I'm excited for the Flip 5 and the Fold 5. Can't wait till they ship. Which laptop should I get? Omen 16 or the Razer Blade 15? I'll probably say Razer Blade 15. 144 hertz. Thank you. I love my Sigma 35 1.4. I'm getting, but bro, I've got the G Lens 1.8 Sony 35. I ain't going to the 1.4. I'm going straight to the 1.2 Sigma 35. I shoot A-roll on the F2. Oh, I didn't know you used the F2. Okay. Oh, you shoot the A-roll at F2. Nah, open it all up, bro. Come on, give us all the bouquet. Asus ROG Strix 2023 with the 4090 GPU. Interesting. I'll try and get that in if Asus have it. I pre-ordered the Z Flip 5. Can't wait. Glad to hear it. Dual 12 megapixel cameras are okay. Yeah, they're okay. Not okay enough for me, but they're okay. No decks, no thank you. I adore the Ultra. However, I haven't had a clamshell in years. I miss the portability. Cameras and battery will be downgrade. I can live with that. If you can, good for you. I can't. I can't do a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 at 1,000. No, 8 plus Gen 1, not 8 Gen 1. 8 plus Gen 1. 8 Gen 1 was kind of cheeks low key. Fold 5 will come Wi-Fi 7 and Wi-Fi 6E. I wish the outer display was variable like the inner. Absolutely, absolutely. It needs to at least be an LTPS display. The cameras are killer on the Pixel, taking better pictures than last year's Z Fold. I have, yep. Watching at 1440p on my Pixel Fold. Jeez. QHD, baby. Laugh out loud. Can't decide whether to go with the Galaxy Tab S9 or Tab S9 Plus. Go with the Tab S9 Plus. Just because you get all the cameras that you need as well, just in case. And a slightly bigger battery. Fold 5 will come with Wi-Fi 7. No, it won't. Aye, there we go. Good stuff, chat. Keep this guy fed. I appreciate you a lot for real. I appreciate you a lot for real. It means a lot. I don't say this, I don't take that lightly. 29 concurrent viewers. Would love to see it. Have you watched Geography now? He has UK and US episode recently. No. He does videos in all countries on YouTube. Okay, interesting. The Pixel Fold about Android 13 beta. The battery on other YouTube claim to be day and a half. Okay, cool. No problem. No problem. I'm not running beta software on it, so I can't say YouTuber Jay Williams beta download battery. Okay, good. Good for Jay. Good for Jay. I'll wait for when the full version comes out. I ain't running no beta on it. I genuinely switched from the Pixel. I genuinely switched from the Z Fold 4 to the Pixel Fold. The Pixel Fold is now the business line phone. The personal is still the S23 Ultra. I just think S23 Ultra is still goated for this year. But in terms of the Fold phone I use, yeah, it's the Pixel Fold at the minute. What about the battery life on the Watch 6? I don't know. I don't have it. Android 13, definitely Pixel Fold into beast territory. Love to see it. Can't wait. Okay. We've done all the questions. Really appreciate you firing everything. Keep them going. Share it out to socials as well. We are pretty much going to jump into the Galaxy Fold 5 and pretty much talk all things Fold 5 in that retrospect. Again, did a comparison hands-on compared to the Galaxy Fold 4. A little preview of the Pixel Fold in there as well. I would not blame you if you thought this was deja vu. The only difference you're really going to really see is the icy blue. Boy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe chisel around it and refine it. Maybe this is Samsung's idea and the motto of what they had in place. But if there's a device that really tells me that they did enough to pretty much get away with it, get away with it, ooh, maybe this is it. I see someone that's in there. Cheese! You know, that's my old boss, you know. Man like Ben, super proud on what you're doing, brother. Keep it up. Man like Raz Masood. Boss man like Raz. You're in here, you know. What a surprise. I appreciate you, man. If you lot didn't know, that's actually my ex-boss from Telco sales days. So I appreciate you being here, brother. I didn't even, he's bro. He's bro to me. He's equivalent to just being my bro now at this point. So I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate the $4.99 super chat, man. Direct donation. You lot have really showed out with the direct donations tonight. If there's anything in doubt, this is the reason why I keep Tech and Chill Show Unplugged going. And again, we'll do a roundup of what the content has been for the month on Lover of Tech, especially just doing it full time, not having a day job and stuff. And also all the new intellectual property content, IP, that I've actually introduced this month really showcases what my plan is for the second half of this year. So watch out. So come to the end of the stream. We're going to be discussing that. But Raz, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining. And I hope you're enjoying the stream. We went through the Flip 5. We're on the Fold 5 right now. So here we have is the zero gap hinge, right? What did they do to the Fold 5? If it comes to the design, yes, they're talking about a dispersion layer, Victor's glass on the back and the front for the flex window, if that's what they want to call it now. Zero gap hinge, which is slightly slimmer. It went on a slight diet. It's lost 10 grams. It's 253 grams compared to before. It's slightly slimmer. It's got the zero gap hinge. Are you going to notice? No. You're going to notice the zero gap hinge. Are you going to know? Okay, you tell me which one's which. Don't worry, I'll wait. Which one is which? You'll probably be able to tell that the Fold 4 is the one on the right because I've got my native apps on there. You tell me which one is which. Again, tell me which one is which. Tell me which one is which. They did nothing to the design. They did enough. Okay, they did enough. They closed the gap. It's the IPX8. They made it lighter, right? Would you notice? I promise you. Let me even give you a funny story, right? When we had finished recording on a Wednesday, the Samsung help assistants and the workers picked up my Fold 4, thinking it was a Fold 5. I had to tell her that, yo, that's my Fold 4. Give it back. She thought it was a flip, and I'm not even capping. I wasn't even the one that noticed it. It was one of the guys that noticed it and said, yo, nah, like, get it back. Get it back. Apart from the icy blue color, beige and black, you have those. I promise you, you've got the same phone. You've got the same phone. Same cameras, same design. The display is the same. The display is the same. Specs, refresh rate, S Pen support, still not being on the outer cover display, still only in the inner display, which again, still props to them for being the only ones that really support a proper pen display experience for the inner display, especially with the UTG glass. It's the same. What you're getting with the inner display, right, is again the same brightness as the S23 Ultra at 1750 nits of peak brightness, right? This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting. The display experience is the same, people. Yes, it talked about a dispersion layer. The display experience is the same. Yes, you do get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy. 12 gigabytes of RAM, still no 16 gigabyte option, still no micro SD card option, which will never happen. But you do have a terabyte of storage. You do have a price increase as well, where the base model was 1,649. It's 1,749 now in the UK. So take that for whatever it may be, right? So this is the situation that we have with the Fold 5. Battery's the same, 4,400 milliamps, 25 watt charging, 10 or 15 watt wireless, 4.5 watt. Bruh, it's the same phone. It's the same phone down to the cameras. And I'm talking about the camera quirks. Yes, the S Pen has been made slimmer. S Pen case is slimmer, but we still don't have a housing for the S Pen like we were hoping to see. Skip it. The camera experience, as you can see, 4K 60 does not work on an ultra wide. Somehow, thanks to the power of the 8 Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy, you're able to give me 8K on a main camera sensor with less crop, just like what we have in the S23 and the S23 Ultra. Somehow, you forgot to put 4K 60 on the ultra wide. I mean, I say this the Pixel Fold all you want. The Pixel Fold is still one of only few cameras, right, that can shoot 4K 60 on all the rear lenses as a full device, the ultra wide, the 1X and the 5X. And on top of that, when you're recording on the same clip, you can switch between the back lenses without stopping recording and changing lenses. You can still pause and you can still take pictures. The only thing you can't do is flip it to the selfie, which I hope Google does with the Pixel 8 and the Tensor G3. I have faith in them from when they came from the Pixel 6 to the Pixel 7 to that. I hope they do that with the Pixel 8. They do that. They've got the most flexible camera system for video. Can't do it on here. And do you know what's another pet peeve? I hope you look like, you can see the mouse. This selfie button here on the top left, absolutely flipping jarring. So flipping jarring. Could you not have moved it down here? Google did it and made it bigger. Whose idea that this selfie button on the top left is actually, it makes sense? Who co-signed it? Mentioned it from the Fold 2, still hasn't been changed. And it makes it so off-putting using an outer cover display with your rear cameras as a selfie. That's the best part of a foldable. It's such a pain point. Reposition this. Like, this is not a good user experience. The camera's the same. I'll be dead serious. I'm not even gonna play this all through because I don't think the Fold 5 deserves all that kind of love, right? Let me put into retrospect and let's bring up the Fold 5. And then we're gonna do the Pixel Fold. Here's the case where being technically better doesn't actually equate to being a more enjoyable experience overall, right? Victor's glass on the front and back. Obviously, Samsung are in bed with Corning because they always get dibs on the latest Corning glass, right? Again, all the specs that you've seen here, technically better than a Pixel. Definitely. Technically better than a Pixel, right? I will say, though, the form factor of the Pixel, A1. To me, miles better, and I think it should be the industry standard when it comes to what a fold-in form factor should be. Again, technically better. Technically better when it comes to the display, but form factor wins it. But everything in terms of technicality for brightness, especially for the end of display, yeah, technically better on the Fold 5. Software, technically better. Actually, especially for an in the display, Samsung have got it unlocked. You got to give them props. In the display experience of software, top tier on Samsung. Industry standard for Samsung, right? There is a 1 terabyte option, faster UFS storage. But to me, the camera system, I think is better. Like 8K, again, GSM Marina, you got that wrong. It's 8K 30, not 24. The camera experience for the Pixel, to me, way more enjoyable, way more useful, thanks to that 5X zoom, that 5X optical zoom, compared to the 3X. And I really wish that it just took the 5X from the Note 20 Ultra and put it in here for the Fold 5. Obviously, you've got the end of display selfie, which is not in under camera, so it's better 8 megapixels. It still doesn't shoot 4K, but you can do portrait mode on there, and you do get 1080p 60 for video as well, and you got 4K 60 for the outer cover display selfie as well. Charging on the Fold is better, definitely. Google's too slow. 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah, it's hella slow, hella slow. The Galaxy Fold 5 is technically the superior foldable, but I'll be honest with you, what you're seeing there doesn't tell 100% the story. I just find the Pixel Fold so much more enjoyable. Even though the Fold 5 is technically a better device. The Fold 5 is a technically better device. I just enjoy using the Pixel Fold a lot better. This is a case where Samsung, you did enough. You did enough to get away with it with the Fold 5. And what's so frustrating is those guys that were in South Korea at Seoul and had the opportunity to see prototypes, they had prototypes with the right aspect ratio displays 21 by 9, 20 by 9, all of that stuff. They had prototypes with the S Pen built in. They showed so many stuff, and I'm like, bro, you showing us that now in your fifth outing since 2018, 2019. This ain't gonna get us excited. It's actually gonna get us frustrated. So can you actually get on and do these improvements so we can see it, please? Do you understand? This is what the situation is with Samsung at the minute, and it just boggles the mind. This ain't really something that stepped up. I've been asked countless time, upgrade from Fold 4? Hell no. Don't do that to yourself. And honestly, the Fold 3, you only upgrade from it if the camera bothered you. Even then, don't do it. No offense. If the camera bothered you on the Fold 3, especially when it came to zoom, cool, definitely upgrade. Fold 2, oh, go to town. No one needs to question you. That's a 2020 pandemic foldable. Go to town, enjoy yourself. Fold 3, my only stipulation if you're upgrading from a Fold 3, did the camera bother you? Because a 2x zoom, nah. You can do 2x on the main digital zoom on the main lens now. There should never be a 2x zoom anymore, period. Zooms start from 3 and go up and onwards. No more 2x dedicated zooms. That's just a joke thing. So if that bothered you enough, yeah, Fold 3, upgrade, you'll be a happy person. Fold 4, sit yourself down. In fact, Samsung have really, in my opinion, just gone and made the Fold 4 the Fold 5 killer in its own way. You can somehow pick up a brand new Fold 4 for cheap, go to town. A very good condition Fold 4, which is very hard for foldables in general, go to town. But if you're coming from a Fold 3, your only reason to upgrade is if the camera was above it to you. That's my general consensus of the Fold 5. They did enough to get away with it, and those are the reasons why you should be going for it. Right, let's jump into this chat. Just imagine an iPhone and Pixel Ultra with 1.8 sensor. Yeah, true. Pre-ordered trade-in exclusive blue color. Hopefully, I don't regret the color. They moved the flashlight on the Fold 5. You ain't happy. Nah. Cody, you're wild. You're savage. Yes, my finger always blocked the flashlight on the Fold 4 so I can see, and then walk into the bathroom at night. Hey, now you lot are flipping funny. We'll never notice. What walking with? Who's walking with the phone upside down? Oh no. It's just to show the zero gap hinge. It's just to show the zero gap hinge. They changed the colors. Fold 4S. Fold 4S. Oh my days, that is so true. Bring back the S models so we know what we're getting into. Fold 4S. One thing they did that I tweeted about was moving the damn flashlight from the bottom, which means you can take a picture where your finger doesn't get caught in a cloud. Also using a flashlight at like on, it was whack, but same. Cool, they removed the flashlight. Hey, let's enjoy it. I had one choice, spend £2,000 on a 65-inch Samsung S90C OLED TV. upgrade from my 50-inch 14 Vizio TV or trade in Z Fold 4 for the 5 and tab it, and I made the right choice. Hey, cool. I chose to trade in. I can still cancel it. Hey, it's up to you. You get what you need and you get what you value. It's your money, man. The only win is that they give you at least 8% of the trading value of the Fold 4. Hey, cool. If you're happy to do that, go to town. Yes, win for the Pixel Fold. Trade in for the Pixel 6 Pro for 1,000 off the Pixel Fold and 350 off for the Classic. Hey, cool. That's a good one. Got the Pixel Fold, only 900. No trade-in. No trade-in, loving the Pixel Fold without Samsung UI, different software is nice. Maybe not for the inner display, it's a bit too elegant, but yeah, out of display, it vibes still. I just bought the Fold 3. Smart move. Theo VK, hi Ben, I just checked and 8K is possible with 30 FPS on the Fold 5. Yeah, absolutely. It's not 24, it's 30. I checked it as well. And it's not meant to have that much of a crop factor like before. So it should pretty much be the same as the S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra, where it's near enough the same field of view. It's really good in that retrospect. Pixel Fold, king of US folds. I think here's my analogy of it, right? The Pixel Fold is a fold that you love, but you may not like just because of the inner display software experience being compromised, battery life, efficiency, and slow charging. Okay? But you will love it because it's a much better built device in my opinion. It's way more elegant. It's a better form factor. The outer display is great. The Pixel software experience. The camera is, in my opinion, my favorite on a foldable device. Doesn't mean it's technically the best, but it's my favorite camera experience on a foldable. So you will love it for that reason. The Fold 5 is a phone that you would like, but it doesn't do anything that makes you love it, especially in its current state, right? You like because it is the established one. It is the more reliable one in terms of software. It's just the more established. It's the safety bet. It's the safety net, right? But I'm not in love with it anywhere near what I was with the Fold 2. That's just me being straight. I'm not in love with it anywhere near like how I was with the Fold 2. I think out of all of them, the Fold 2, I've owned the Fold 2, 3, 4, and obviously I've used the 5. Fold 2 is the one that I feel like I loved. I loved that phone. It was such a step up from the Fold 1. You store it. I just feel like it's been a major coasting job from then. It's been a major coasting job from then. And we hope Fold 6, we get the pen inside, we get a new form factor, we step it up for that love to come back. The Honor Magic V2 is going to be the best foldable. I think it's going to be a very dark horse hit. It's a far superior and better than Fold 5. Again, let's hold our horses, but I think it's the dark horse. Can't wait for the global release. Same. That should hopefully be an ETHA. Well, Android 14 hits the Pixel Fold in August. Really? Okay, that's early. I'll take that. August is tomorrow, so when that's going to happen, I'll take it. So that's my general consensus of the Fold 5 and the Flip 5. Here's the thing, right? It seems like, shout out to 34 concurrent viewers. Yo, you lot have really showed out and held it out, man. I appreciate that still. I really do appreciate that. Have you tried using a Fold phone as a content creation machine? No, my content creation schedule is just way too intense where I just do everything on my laptops and stuff like. But on the Fold with an S Pen, I think it'll be clutch. So here's where the situation is with the Tab S9. Okay, let's switch here because what really bugged me out and what really just caught my interest was this. And it's really hard to know, and it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned. Right, we'll go to channels, we'll go to Sound Mobile. I only do key videos for Sound Mobile. Again, they can always request for someone else to do their videos at any given time. But you see, I did all their 4 hands-on videos, 5 in total actually, rescue me. That night was not a pleasant night in terms of sleeplessness. And it looks like, in terms of engagement level, people have been way more interested in the Tab S9. You know, yes, 68K views, and these videos went live all at the same time. All at the same time. All at the same time. So that, it says a lot. People are way more interested in the Tab S9 series. I don't know why, though. If I'm going to be honest with you, these are the same tablets. The only real differences I would say, right, is that the normal Tab S9 doesn't use a thin film transistor display. It doesn't use a TFT display anymore. It uses an OLED display, a dynamic OLED display like the others. So great, right? So it's the only one that doesn't suffer from the LCD panel stuff anymore, which is great to see. It's still the same size. It's the same set of tablets from what I know. So 11 inches, 12.4, 14.6, which is ridiculous for the Ultra. Still the notch on the Ultra. Still the same camera configurations on the Ultra, which is 30 megapixels, 8 megapixels, 2 8 megapixels, and a selfie. One is normal, one is ultra wide. You get a single camera on the 9, but I mean, these are the same tablets. Charging wise, is bi-directional on both sides. For the S Pen, which comes included, which is clutch. You've got a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy. You've got Vision Booster, 120 Hz dynamic 2x OLED display, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform built for Galaxy with vapor chamber cooling now, super thin. These are the same tablets as last year. Like I said, the Tab S9 gets an OLED display. But not to discredit it, these are pretty much the first non-rugged based tablets to have an IP68 rating. Okay. I guess that's great. I guess, okay. Here's where there isn't much else to the Tab S9 series, but that's the one people are most interested in. I will say this, right? These are not accessible price tablets, but I will say this: if you have something like the normal Tab S9 or even a Tab S9 Plus, I don't know about the Ultra though. That's quite a huge one to let kids play with. But I've noticed most of the time our tablets are picked up by little children. Right, and they and another okay. Let me make this point. Let me land. They're picked up by little children, and I've had the experience of my famous Note 4 being drenched by my firstborn. It still pains me to this day. Right, it saw the bathtub, took it, and just dumped it in there and just washed it. And I wish that phone had IP68 rating then. But again, those were the days of the removable backs. Different times altogether. So I get it. There might be some people that use their tablets in the bathroom. Maybe they use their tablets when they're cooking, spillage, counteracting and stuff. And kids may be using it and spilling stuff on the tablet without it breaking and spoiling. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Actually, props to Samsung for doing that. I don't want to downplay that, actually. That's actually really good. It is really good. Apart from that, they're the same tablets, but people in the comments engaged and pretty much made it very clear. And you see it. It's like, I find the Tab S9 series more entertaining than the Fold 5 and the Flip 5. And a lot of people are saying same here. Same thought. More people are interested in the Tab S9. So I clearly missed something when it came to my personal coverage. People are loving the Tab S9 a lot more. In terms of my genuine interest for tablets on the channel, it's low, but not as low as smartwatches. And the smartwatches are also the second most interesting and the most engaged in terms of views. I didn't do it for my personal channel, bro. Like, I did as much as I could, bro. Like, I did 2 short form videos to flip it and showcase and do a collaborative one with Kagan. Shout out to my boy Kagan Tech. Just smashing it out there on Instagram and TikTok as per. We did a collaborative post together on Instagram. Instagram probably one of the best places to do the collaborative post on. Loving it there. Um, but for my personal channel, I just didn't have any more energy in me to pull out any more videos, right? Having to shoot 6 videos and edit all 6 videos by yourself, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I kind of just left it. I had other stuff to do with Razer and other different things as well. But the Watch 6 Classic is back. There is no Watch 6 Pro, so the Watch 5 Pro is still there. Don't know why they didn't upgrade the Pro, but a Watch 6 Classic, it's back, meaning that you've got a rotating crown. They've made the bezel slimmer. There's a new Exynos W930 chip in there. Don't know the full details in it, but it's meant to be more efficient. The batteries have gotten bigger, so 420 milliamps for the 47 millimeter one, and then 3000 milliamp for the 43 millimeter. Can't remember. And yeah, the Watch 6 Classic is back. Should I give it a round of applause for them taking away in the first place? I guess, and I did mention it, that they could have easily just done a Watch 5 Pro, Watch 5 Classic, and a Watch 5 last year. Now they've introduced the Pro, which, you know, is probably one of the best Android smartwatches I've used, especially in that ridiculous battery life. Again, I'm not really a smartwatch person as such, but when I used it and put it together, it really did impress me just how crazy the battery life was. Right, we're talking about 5 straight days and beyond for continuous usage, and that was with no power management features in there as well. So I mean, it's back, you know, and then there's no Pro update. I don't know. Samsung's strategy here tells me that really, like I said before, the Watch 5 Pro name made no sense. It should have been called something else that didn't have a number because it was its own category. So if you're gonna give it a numbered name, you should have really upgraded the Watch 5 Pro with this new Exynos chip to make it more efficient. I really don't know. I don't know what their strategy is here, but it is good to see their iconic rotating crown back, right? This is what made the definitive experience of the Galaxy Watch series really on point. So, I mean, consider that. You know, consider that. But we're going to wrap this up because we've slightly gone over the hour because there was a lot of products to talk about and go through, which is fine, which ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. Which products were the best? I think for phones, we say the Flip 5 is the best. Technically, the Fold 5 is the most powerful and the most complete. The Flip 5 got the most upgrade, but again, it's still, in retrospect to not the bubble it's in, but against the competition, it fell short in some places, but I think the Flip 5 did enough. Above enough, I would say. Fold 5, barely whelmed. Whelmed at best, but I'm in that barely category. Pick which side you're on and where you're coming from a never having a fold to having a fold. It's technically the king. It wins on a technicality. Is it my favorite and the most enjoyable? No. You know, do I still love the fold concept? Absolutely. The most popular seems to be the Tab S9 series. And I guess people still love the watch and glad to see the Watch 6 Classic back. That's my roundup of Unpacked. Did Samsung do enough? That was the question. They did, but in my opinion, they did enough to just get away with it because they know they're still in a position where they absolutely can. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, let's jump into the comments and then wrap this up. All right. It says, I don't understand why people don't get the Pro is the Apple Watch equivalent, so the next Pro will come, G. No, that's not the problem. My problem is I get the whole concept behind it. You're forgetting I reviewed it on my personal channel, Sam Mobiles. I'm very well acquainted with the Watch 5 Pro, but what I said was it shouldn't have been called a Watch 5 Pro. Apple marketed their Watch Ultra way better. They didn't call it the Apple Watch 8 Ultra. No, they called it the Apple Watch Ultra. Samsung should have called it the Samsung. Whatever copyright name or issues they had, it should have been called Samsung Galaxy Watch Pro. It shouldn't have been a Watch 5 Pro because then what you do is you misalign the numbers in terms of release. So when the Watch 7 series comes out, is that when you're gonna call it a Watch 6 Pro, it seems misaligned. Are you gonna skip the 6 name altogether like you did with the Note 6 and just call it a Watch 7 Pro just to make sure they're aligned? I don't see why the Watch 5 Pro didn't get an upgrade. What that proves to me is it shouldn't have been called a Watch 5 Pro. It should have just been given its own starting lane like what Apple did. What that basically means is whatever upgrade cycle the Watch Pro series is on with Samsung, it's in its own lane. But when you mismatch it like this, we were there like, where's the Watch 6 Pro? It just they still miss it when it comes to these things. Oops. The next Pro will come out when the Apple Watch Ultra comes out, which is when September. The new Apple Watch Ultra will probably come out in September. So that means they're already behind. So the next classic will be the Watch 8. It's a 24-month cadence for both models. Not entirely. The Watch 5 series came out last year. So it's been a yearly cycle. So it's not a 24-month cadence. Too many Watch 6 and Watch 5 Pro comparison. They're both in their own lanes. No, no, that's true. That's true. They are in their own lanes. They shouldn't be compared. The problem with why they're being compared is Samsung have named them in a way where you have to compare them. They've not marketed it properly. Glad to see you're staying hydrated. Yes, yes, indeed. I hope everyone is staying hydrated and having some water. Okay, that's a good point. That's why we have these discussions. Agreed. The Watch 5 Pro name was a terrible strategy. I don't take that back. They've shot themselves in the foot in terms of the release strategy and in terms of marketing. Just saying. Someone sees the Watch 6 Pro and you're bringing out a Watch 7 series. It looks already inferior. How do you explain that? What are they going to do? They're just going to get rid of the 6 Pro and go straight. And it's like, what happened to the 6 Pro? It's just weird. It's hella weird. They should have come up with something better. And all they should have done, if they weren't going to call it the Ultra or the Pro because of name, they should have just called it the Samsung Galaxy Watch Extreme. Call it Extreme. Think of a different name that isn't taken up. Extreme, Ultra, Pro, Advanced, something. Don't give it the easy one and just go Watch 5 Pro and not upgrade it year on year on number with it. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Should have added the normal, non-classic, and pros maintain 12-month releases. Next Ultra is next year. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, people? John M. What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, we're pretty much at the end. We've hit the 1 hour and nearing a 15-minute mark of your Monday Night Tech and Chill Show Unplugged. I've got other stuff to do, man, so I'm going to pretty much wrap it up. And I'm going to go back and pretty much thank everyone that's dropped their super chats in here. Jimmy Fire Dragon, really appreciate it. Also, super that's COON. I appreciate you as well. KD, I appreciate you. My bro Courtney, I appreciate you. Film by Fresh, thank you. Super that's COON again, right? We're in here again. I appreciate you, man. You really showed up today. The homie, Raz, I appreciate you being in here, brother. I appreciate that, man. Big time. Thank you for showing up, man. Thank you all for dropping your direct donations to support as well. How to check Google Pixels for not repair? I don't know what you're saying, man. Pat's Tech was good. I'm a bit late, but good to see you. I hope you're well. Thank you for coming in. We are wrapping up now. Rayon. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.